a lot of people get to know you and they get to know what you like to buy and they get to know how you deal. And oftentimes, I have friends where I'm like, I'm not interested in this, but you should go see so and so because they might be interested.
Hmm.
And that comes from building relationships. And the way that I usually try to do that is, first of all, you have to learn how to talk to people. Um, and it's a skill that anyone can learn, but it takes a while. I used to be very introverted, even 3 years ago, and I learned how to talk to people.
Okay,
Um,
so let me just jump in here because I talk to a
sure.
lot of people that say, "Hey, FD, I go to shows. You seem to do this pretty easy. This is very
Yeah.
difficult for me." You just made that statement about being introverted. What happened in the last 3 years?
Well, the pandemic was huge for me because I started my podcast, and when I started my podcast, that taught me how to talk to people and
Okay.
how to carry on conversation. Um, and then it just translated when I started interacting with people in real life. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I actually know how to talk to people now."
Okay.
so, so yeah, it's just practice. Honestly, more than anything, it's just being willing to just like put yourself out there and just kind of, you know, I always say the easiest thing to talk to people about is them. So easiest way to talk to you,
Themselves, right?
yeah,
Themselves.
is ask you about yourself.
That's
So
right.
ask a question about the shirt they're wearing, ask about their hat, ask what they picked up at the show, ask what they're buying. Um, I try to avoid like, are you looking for anything in particular? Because everyone asks that question.
Mhm.
Um, but oftentimes I'll make an observation, or I'll say, they'll have a kid with them. I'll make a comment about the kid, not a mean comment, just like
I know what you
like,
mean.
oh hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? You having a fun time? So something like that. That kind of it makes people more willing to engage with you. So yeah, I think that's the easiest thing to do is just like make an observation about what they have. So at car shows, it's easy because people wear sports stuff all the time. So ask them about the Bengals or about the White Sox or about the whatever they're wearing. Ask them about that. That's an easy way to get in.
I want everybody out there to hear that because I try to talk about this more and more and more. In the hobby, there are introverted people.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot of the hobby is introverted. So when I've known people to I've talked to some people who have maybe avoided a show because they didn't know anyone there, and I know it's hard. I mean, I can relate to that. I tell people all the time that before I go to a show, I feel some kind of butterflies. People don't believe that,
yeah,
but then I get in there and just start talking to people
yeah,
and
and
remembering something about them. And then if you're in a local market, you're most likely to see some people again and again, and then those that visit, you find out where they're from.
yeah.
Connect with them. If you're on Instagram or something, connect with them. If you're not, then you the next time you see them, just hey, what's up? I remember you from so and so show.
Yeah. And I'd say that probably, and this number might be off, but I'd say probably 60% of the deals that I make are with repeat customers. Repeat, it might even be 70 or 75%.
Hmm.
Because, I'll sell them a bunch of cards. Next time they're coming straight to my table first time
Hmm.
because they know they can get a deal from me.
They know they're gonna get
They,
a deal. They know the
yeah,
relationship that they have with you. They know how you're
yeah.
gonna treat them.
They know I'm easy. It's like we get the deal done. You need to be there. I need to be there. Okay, boom, boom, done. It's easy. It happens all the time. I develop relationships with the local card shops. They'll hook me up. Just hey, I can do this on this. I need this on this. Can you make that work? Sure. Well, what if I buy that too? Oh yeah, sure. Boom, done. It's easy. You know. So I think if people are looking to make deals, like I'm not saying like you should lose money to everybody. That's not my advice.
Hmm.
But sometimes it's worth it to maybe give a little bit better deal than you are looking to get, because then that makes that relationship blossom, and it helps future uh, interactions.
Yeah, I found myself going to shows and starting out at certain people's tables
Oh yeah, 100%.
because I have rapport with them. I kind of know what kind of cards they're going to have, if they're of
Yep.
interest to me, or what new. I know when cards move on their tables, most time it's going to move. I've
Hmm.
even started hitting some people up before the shows. Hey, are you going to be at so and so show?
Yep.
Because when I get there, now I already have a priority in my head of who I'm going to talk to first. But I'm always open to meeting new people and seeing what they have. But that's just kind of how I start prioritizing now. But
Hmm.
my goal is always to kind of move around and talk to people that are buying, talk to people that are selling. But you start to understand kind of some rhythms and how that
Yep.
rhythm fits into your rhythm of what you're doing.
Yeah, and there's, and I'm not saying that you have to have a business relationship with everyone, but you should have a friendly relationship with it, because there are certain people that set up at shows that, I just can't do deals with them because like they want a certain thing and I want a
Mhm,
certain thing, and
mhm.
we're still friendly, we're still buddies, but we just don't do deals together.
Yep.
And
And
so
there's
I
nothing wrong
know,
with and there's nothing wrong with that.
no, not at all. I still talk to them and I still check out their table and be like, "Hey, how's your show going?" or whatever. But there's no motivation for either of us to do deals because they're looking for one thing, I'm looking for probably the same thing, and so it just doesn't work. But there's other people who it does work with, and I love those relationships. I just wanted to say for you, I started watching you before I started my channel, and I just really appreciate how positive you are and
Thank you.
what the energy that you bring to the hobby. And I think that it's really easy to get caught up. And this is one of my goals for my channel and my content and my brand in general. Is I just always want to be positive. I don't want to inject any kind of negativity or shed any negative light or share anything negative about this, because 99% of the people that are in this hobby are good people,
Yes, I believe
or at
that.
least well intentioned.
Mhm.
Um, and so I think you deserve credit for being um, one of those people that we should look up to. So
Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing, and
Thank you.
it always brings a smile on my face to see one of your videos. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Well, what
man.
I tell people all the time is that we do what you see us do is what I was doing before we ever pulled a camera out and started pressing record and editing anything.
Hmm.
There's nothing about Rolling with FT that's embellished. It's kind of what there are some things in there. There are many different levels to it to me. There's some things my father taught me to do when I'm at a show. When I first started Sam, he walked the shows with me,
Oh, that's cool.
and he would be in my ear. I was a shy kid, right? So I didn't talk to a lot of people. And he would be in my ear as we approached Jim Brown or somebody else and telling me stats about that person from before I was born. So even now when I go to shows, I think about that. You had
That's
access
cool.
to a whole bunch of stuff. So, and I take each conversation that I have with people seriously. So when we see each other in August, right? My conversation with you is going to be just as important if I'm talking to somebody that's working at the space.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because that's how much I respect the people that I'm talking to and the time that I'm spending with them. We all give of ourselves. This is what I like for people to understand in the hobby. When you go to a show, you're giving of your time to spend time with people. It's not really about the cards. Think about it, Sam. If we went to a show, you could be there for a limited amount of time if it was just about the cards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, imagine if you walked into a room and you were the only one there and there was a bunch of cards.
Nobody's interested in that.
No.
And that's really what the hobby is all about.